Professor Clixandor had taught advanced xenobiology at the Galactic University for over 2 centuries, but nothing in his vast experience had prepared him for the human exchange students who had just enrolled in his class. "Welcome to Dangerous Environments 101, he announced to his assembled students, his crystalline form shimmering with nervous energy. The classroom held 23 beings from across the galaxy's most civilized worlds. Delicate Etherians who could barely tolerate standard atmospheric pressure, cautious Vextari who wore full environmental suits even in perfectly controlled conditions, and paranoid Zeth Cole, who had triple-checked every safety protocol before sitting down. And then there were the 3 humans. Marcus Thompson sat in the back row, casually eating something he called spicy chips that were literally smoking. The chemical analysis his suit's sensors provided made Professor Clixandor's optical sensors water. The substance contained compounds that should have been dissolving the human's internal tissues. Beside him, Jennifer Walsh was absent-mindedly spinning a device she'd introduced as a stress ball, apparently unaware that it was dense enough to be classified as a low-grade weapon by galactic security standards. The third human, David Park, was reviewing his notes from their previous class about moderate environmental hazards while sipping from a container labeled Monster Energy Drink that registered radiation levels typically found near unstable reactors. "Today we'll be studying Class 7 hostile environments," Professor Clixandor continued, activating the holographic display. "These represent conditions that would be considered challenging for most spacefaring species." The display showed a world wreathed in toxic storms, where temperatures fluctuated between freezing and boiling every few hours, and where the very air was filled with corrosive particles. "Terrifying," whispered Velterra, a delicate butterfly-like creature whose species required perfect atmospheric conditions to survive. "Utterly inhospitable," agreed Thexmore, whose people had evolved in peaceful, climate-controlled environments. Marcus Thompson raised his hand. "Professor, this just looks like Tuesday in Texas during tornado season." The classroom fell silent. Professor Clixandor's translator struggled with the concept before providing a rough approximation. "A regular occurrence in a human population center." "You're joking," stammered Velterra. "Nah," Jennifer chimed in. "Though I'd probably pack an extra jacket. Looks a bit chilly." Professor Clixandor decided to escalate the lesson. "Very well. Let's examine truly dangerous conditions." The display shifted to show a world where massive explosions regularly tore across the landscape, where seismic activity could level mountains, and where electromagnetic storms disabled all technology. The non-human students gasped in collective horror. Several Etherians actually fainted. David Park squinted at the display. "Is that supposed to be scary? It just looks like camping in Yellowstone near the geysers. The electromagnetic pulses alone would kill most technological species," Professor Clixandor pointed out desperately. "Oh, that's why you bring analog backups," Marcus said matter-of-factly. "Basic Survival 101. Plus, you learn to read weather patterns, so you can predict the big explosions and just move." "Move?" The professor's voice cracked across 3 octaves. "These explosions have the force of small nuclear weapons." "Yeah, but they're predictable," Jennifer shrugged. "And they usually give you a few minutes warning. It's not like they're surprise explosions." The Zeth Cole student, encased in his protective suit, spoke through his translator. "Your species, you treat weapons-grade explosions as navigational hazards?" "Well, not weapons-grade," David corrected. "Those are different. Natural explosions are just Earth being Earth. You work around them." Professor Clixandor realized his mistake. He had been trying to teach environmental hazards to students from peaceful worlds, while inadvertently including beings who had evolved on a planet where the environment itself was actively trying to kill them every single day. "Let me understand," he said slowly. "On your homeworld, you regularly